Hey guys, it's Lee with Mantis Mechanics, and here today to show you about a Kung Fu first aid kit. What should be in your first aid kit if you study Chinese martial arts or martial arts in general. So a lot of these things are very good to have in a first aid kit. Injuries, unfortunately, are sometimes inevitable when you're studying martial arts. Accidents do happen. People stub their toes. They run into walls, they hurt their hand on the bag, those sort of things, as well as more serious injuries can occur. So I'm going to show you what we have in a first aid kit from a Chinese martial arts perspective. Now this is a first aid kit, so if your instructor, Shifu, is a doctor of Chinese medicine, he might have more stuff available or she might have more stuff available. This is just basic first aid stuff that anybody can use in a martial arts injury case. So start off with some basic stuff. In the top here, I've just got scissors, right? These are just scissors, tweezers for splinters, those sort of things. I have Neosporin, right? So Neosporin for cuts and scrapes. Probably a lot of people know what Neosporin's for. I have some athletic tape. And I have Band-Aids, of course. Every school should have Band-Aids and bandages. Some Tiger Balm for sore muscles. Sometimes people get muscle strains from training. I have a face shield. This is for CPR. In case somebody needs mouth-to-mouth CPR, you put that on them, breathe into it, and you can give mouth-to-mouth without getting anything thrown back in you. A lot of times when you do mouth-to-mouth, if you've taken the course, they'll tell you that the people will throw up when you give them mouth-to-mouth or when you give them chest compression. So obviously, if you're doing that, you don't want the throw up to go into your mouth. That's gross. So face shields are a good thing to have, and they're very cheap and inexpensive, like this one here. Make sure you get CPR certified if you're going to do that. And moving on, we open this up, and the first thing that I want to talk about is this. This is called Sawansong. Let me see if I can get it there in the camera, just like that. This one is from Camwo, but really you just need Sawansong. This is Herbal Ice. So we use this in place of any time you're going to use ice. I never use ice here at the school. I don't believe in using ice. The Chinese medicine, they don't use ice. And Western medicine is actually starting to come around on this. Using ice is not good for healing. All it does is numb pain. So if you're using ice, I highly recommend that you look into that and that you stop using it. This will work like ice, and that will help reduce the swelling. You put on injuries right away whenever you would use ice, use this stuff instead. Go out and get it. You can buy it online. I think this one was Camwo. Like I said, I think the website is camwoherbs.com. So definitely use Sawansong. Do not use ice. I don't have ice in my kit. I don't have it here at the school. I don't use it. Okay, rant over. Next, we have a very common first aid, which is Dit Da Jow or Dit Da Jiu in Mandarin. This one we make in-house. They sell them online as well. This you put on anything, any bruising. This is for iron palm training. This is for any swelling. You can put this on anything like that. Very good stuff. If you get a good brand, if you get someone or from a qualified master, Dit Da Jow can be very, very good. And there are some brands out there that aren't very good. So I recommend that you try some of them out. We sell this one here at the school, like I said, but definitely get a good jow. Anytime somebody gets bruised, anytime they have swelling, anytime you're doing iron palm training or hard training, use this stuff. Very important for the martial arts or Kung Fu first aid kit. I'll take that out. Next, I've just got some finger splints. Right? Very common injury in martial arts is stubbing your finger or jamming your toes. Actually, that might be one of the most common injuries we have in here, stubbing the toes when people are sparring, trying to throw a roundhouse kick and it gets blocked, and they're not hitting with their shin, they're hitting with the top of their instep, and they stub their toe, or they're not plantar flexing their foot or bending their foot back. So we have these just in case, just to temporarily immobilize the finger. Again, we would put someone's song on that finger, then maybe split it up and send them home, and hopefully they can, if they need it, they'll go get medical attention. So finger splints, the next one. Okay, next we have Dit Da Jow pills. So these are used like iron palm or like the Dit Da Jow, only you put it in your mouth. This one can be eaten internally. The Dit Da Jow here, you would never, ever, ever take internally. It's only for external use. You don't put it on scrapes or anything like that. Okay, but this one is a pill. You open it up, and there's a wax pill inside. So you peel off the wax and then eat it. And this would be anytime heavy, if you're getting heavy sparring, you fall down and you feel like you hurt yourself internally, this would be the stuff to use. So Dit Da Jow works like an internal Dit Da Jow. Okay, I will warn you on these, they do not taste well at all. In fact, most Chinese medicine is not very good, great tasting. Seems that the worse it tastes, the better it is for you. All right. Okay, next we have some Yunnan Baiyao. So this is a powder form of Yunnan Baiyao, and this you use anytime you get a bleeding, like heavy bleeding. This will stop the bleeding and sterilize the wound. Very, very effective at stopping bleeding. You can take this internally too. I do have the pills, which I'll grab next, but this is the powder form. This is easier for open wounds. Somebody gets cut on something, they could get cut on a fingernail, anything. They cut themselves, put this on there. It'll help stop the bleeding, and it'll also clean the wound, and then you can put a bandage on it. Okay, so that's Yunnan Baiyao. All this stuff you can buy online. Like I said, Camel Herb Shop, there's Modern Herb Shop, there's a lot of places that you can buy them online. Okay, and here we go, like I promised. Here is the capsule form of Yunnan Baiyao. Okay, so this one, if you take a capsule form, is for internal bleeding. Read online that the Vietnam soldiers, when they got shot, they would take this stuff to help save their lives, and they credit the Yunnan Baiyao with saving their lives. So definitely recommend I've never taken it internally for that reason, never got hurt that bad, but I do like it for stopping external bleeding. And just because these are pills, doesn't matter. You just take them, you open up the pill and put the powder on top of the wound, and it'll stop the bleeding right away. It does sting a little bit, but that's the price of training martial arts. Okay, next one. I just have some basic wraps and gauze pads. Obviously, someone hurts themselves, breaks something, sprains something, we can wrap it up, or gauze to help stop the bleeding. Those things that are basic in every single first aid kit. I'm not going to go too much into that stuff because, like I said, this is more about the Kung Fu aspect. Normal first aid kit, you just add these herbs and patches to your kit, and you can use them in the instances I have described. Okay, here we go. I have another cool little thing. This is a Dit Da Jow that I bought from the Shaolin Temple. Now, I originally bought this not thinking it would work that well, just because as a souvenir. It's like, oh, I'm at the Shaolin Temple, might as well buy a Dit Da Jow from there as a souvenir. But I was training in Thailand throwing an elbow, and it was an elbow that I had never thrown before, and I was throwing against this bag over and over. And at the end of the training session, my elbow was a little swollen. So I didn't have any of my own jow, so I took this and put it on there, and the next day it was fine. So it works. I'm not sure if it's actually made by Shaolin monks as they claimed, but it definitely worked. And I just like to say that I got it from the Shaolin Temple. I rarely use it. I use the other one you saw. It's made in house. But I do have this here as well. Okay, next we have hot kwai. So this is also called black ghost oil. You put this on anytime you have a deep bruise, like a bone bruise or a bruise that you feel if it's very painful, but there's actually no outside marking of a bruise. So anytime, like on the shin, especially if you kick like a dead spot of a bag, or you hit shin to shin while sparring, that sort of thing, or just basically any type of martial arts contact, and it hurts bad like a bruise, but you actually don't see a bruise, it might be a deep internal bruise, you would use this stuff. Works very well. I would use this first and then start putting the jow on it once the bruise becomes external. This penetrates a little deeper. Okay. The next thing I got is these medical plasters. Okay, these are Omeshan. I think they usually call them Jacko Kokotsa. This one doesn't have that on there, but basically it's just a patch, like a Tiger Balm patch or Icy Hot patch. I like these ones a little bit better because they have the herbs in the patch. And anytime you have a muscle sprain or muscle soreness, sometimes people will have like sore shoulders from doing a lot of push-ups or something like that. Give them one of these to put on, and it helps relieve the pain temporarily. The things I do like about these two that some people don't like is that they're very adhesive. So when you put them on, they're very hard to get off. So it's going to take like a day or so for these things to come off in the shower. And I recommend shaving before you put them on, because if there was hair there, there won't be there after you put these things on. So little warning on that. Okay. Next, just some alcohol prep pads. Okay, for cleaning wounds, cleaning the skin, that sort of thing. Very simple. Those are in an average first aid kit. Then I've got this stuff as well. White flour. Now this stuff is kind of like Tiger Balm. It's very, very strong though. I had a friend of mine who I told him to use a little bit for a sore hamstring. He took almost half the bottle and put it on his hamstring, and he really, really regretted that. This stuff is super powerful. A little bit goes a long way, especially with sore muscles, but it's very good for sore muscles. It's also good if you have closed sinuses. Take a little bit of this, rub it on your fingers, and then sniff your nose. Clear you up right away. So I always keep a little bit of this. Again, more muscle soreness type of thing. Nothing too crazy. And that's it. That's what we have for our first aid, Kung Fu first aid kit. So our most important one, I would say, if you were going to build this kit, would first get your Sawansong, stop using ice to ice your injuries. And then number 2 would be your Dit Da Jow. So this one you're probably going to use more commonly than the Sawansong, but the Sawansong is for real emergencies, right? Where you twist your ankle, someone breaks a bone, somebody really gets hurt, anytime you would use ice, use this instead, right, on fresh injuries. You wouldn't use this on old injuries. Now the jow you can use on old injuries. You can use it on new and old injuries. So the jow's a little bit more versatile than the Sawansong, but I would probably get this first because I would stop using ice immediately. So that might sound crazy there, but that's the point. Okay? Don't use ice. Use this instead. Okay? So if you have any questions or comments, or you think I missed anything, or you think I need something in my kit that isn't in there, please let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.